Okay guys, jumping right in, as just a quick mention, this is not a first impressions. I actually did try this foundation last weekend when I did my first impressions on the Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer. So just quickly, the concealer, amazing, absolutely love it. But when I tried the foundation, I wasn't really that big of a fan of it, so I'm gonna try it again today. I'm just gonna start by priming my face. I'm using one that is a little bit more, actually I'm gonna not use this one. I'm gonna use one that is hydrating because I noticed that this foundation specifically kind of like clung to dry patches. So I'm gonna use this one here. This is just a Smashbox Photo Finish foundation primer, and it is the hydrating one. So I'm just gonna use that really quickly. For this primer, I just kind of put it all over my face. I friggin' love it. The way it makes your skin feel afterwards is just like, woo! It's like splashing your face with water. It just feels so good. So last weekend, I tried this foundation and I did try it with my beauty blender. So today I'm actually gonna try it with this foundation brush. I've been using this foundation brush, not with this foundation, but with another foundation that I love. Unfortunately, the brush doesn't have a name, but basically it's from NYX. And it says number 37 on it, so maybe that's all the information you need. I'm not actually sure. I'll look online to double check, but it's just a very kind of dense, flat buffing brush. I really like it. Another disclaimer is I meant to go out to Shoppers Drug Mart to see if I could find a better shade match for myself, because this one here really doesn't match me that well, but we're gonna try and make it work. This is what the foundation actually looks like. It comes with a lid, obviously, but just to show you guys, it does have a pump and it's a glass bottle. You can see the foundation all the way through, which is my absolute preference. So definitely thumbs up on the pump and packaging. So it does claim that this is a full coverage foundation. You know, last week when I did try it, although it was patchy in some spots and it really didn't blend out that great with my beauty blender, it was definitely full coverage in the other areas. So we're gonna try and see how it goes with a brush. I'm really fingers crossed that it's better, because right now I'm going into this like a little bit negatively, but I promised in the video that I was gonna do it last week. But the thing is that after, you know, on camera, it looked super good. And I was like, ooh, I actually really like it once my makeup was done. But then when I went outside, we went out for dinner and I got into the car and I looked at my makeup and it was super patchy, like all along my cheek. I was mortified because it was too late. I was at the restaurant. So that was like, what the hell? I don't know if it was the foundation or if it was my fault. We will see. I'm gonna just go ahead and start with one ginormous pump and just start working into the skin. Again, please note, it's just a little bit too warm, I think. Like, as you can see, yeah, it's a little bit too warm, but we're gonna make it work. It's not that bad, but it's just, I wish it was a little bit more neutral. So applying it with a brush is actually working a lot better. It's distributing the product pretty evenly from what I can tell. I'm, as you can see, really concentrating on this area because that's where I saw the most issues last week. So I'm kind of just starting to work the product up. And as you guys know, I don't really put too much product under my eyes because I don't want too much buildup. I like really just working concealer in that area. So that's looking pretty good. Okay guys, I'm still seeing a small patch right here that just will not keep the foundation on it. So I don't know, like my skin doesn't feel dry. I exfoliated yesterday, even did a mask and all that, so I don't feel like it's my skin. I have one side of my face completely bare and then one side of my face with foundation. As you can see, it does add a pretty amazing amount of coverage. I really like that. But one thing that I'm noticing is that, and you guys, I always say this, I like the fact that it's showing through still my freckles a little bit and beauty marks. I like that in a foundation because I don't want to look like a porcelain doll, to be honest. I want to still look like, you know, my skin is skin and stuff like that. So I like the level of coverage. I feel that it's more of a medium coverage because of that fact. It's still showing through those, you know, freckles. And I know I definitely apply a lot less product in this area than I do like down in these areas, for example, because this is my problem area, is my chin. I don't know if you guys can see on camera, but I can see it in the mirror, is that there's one kind of circular patch right here that will not keep the foundation on it. So I'm just kind of cognizant of that, I'm gonna try and get it with concealer because I've tried 2 layers and it's not going, and I don't really want to pack even more on. One thing that I am noticing about this foundation is that it dries very quickly, so you don't have a lot of time to work with it, which is not necessarily a con, because it's not to the point where you're like, oh my god, I can't even distribute the product. But when you have it on the back of your hand, just be cognizant of that, because you are gonna wanna work a little bit quicker. Maybe you don't apply, you know, like 1 pump at a time type of thing if you're gonna do a pump per side. I'm just adding a little bit more coverage here because it's just looking very sheer. I don't know, guys, like there's some areas on my face that just will not keep foundation on it, and I've never really run into that problem before because I don't have like dry patches or anything like that on my skin. This area right here on my nose, like right below the center of my eyebrows, but above, like right at the beginning of the bridge of my nose, is not keeping any product. Now looking at the foundation, it's beginning to oxidize a bit as well, so keep that in mind. Like when I first applied it, it didn't look too bad on shade matching wise, but now I'm seeing it like start to oxidize. You can really see the difference, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of bronzage or wear a crew neck. So anyways, guys, this is what the foundation is looking like. I'm gonna jump off camera really quickly, finish the rest of my makeup, and then come back on and share my final thoughts, and then we'll talk about price and all that good stuff and shade range. I will be right back. Okay guys, I am back and I have finished my makeup. I kind of went all out, you know, just was feeling like a red lip. It kind of went with my shirt, you know. It's just a Sunday afternoon, why not? To finish my makeup, I use the Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer. I also use the Can't Stop Won't Stop setting powder, and I feel like adding those two together to help the areas that I was seeing the patchiness really took it to the next level. I don't want to say that I don't like the way that the foundation looks, because I really do. I really like the way that my skin's looking right now. Like I have a really nice glow. Everything kind of came together really nicely. The thing is that I didn't love the foundation on application by itself, but once I was able to go in with concealer, setting powder, and the way that powders go on top of the foundation is really, really nice. But it's very concerning that the foundation is super patchy on my skin. It doesn't work on all the areas. I had to use concealer and setting powder to kind of fill in the blanks. So that is kind of the negative on this foundation. So the foundation does go for $18 online, and I do think that that's a fairly reasonable price for a foundation, but a little expensive for a drugstore. Mind you, I do think that NYX kind of sits at the top of the list for drugstore products and quality and all that good stuff. One amazing thing about this foundation, and honestly, NYX does a really good job about this, is that it does come in 45 shades. That's an incredible shade range for a drugstore foundation. I mean, we encountered the same thing with the concealers. There's 24 shades in the concealer line, which is, I don't know what other brand at the drugstore has 24 shades in a concealer, let alone 45 in a foundation. Maybe Maybelline and L'Oreal, but other than that, I never see drugstore products that have a really good shade range. So NYX always does that, and that's something that I think is really says a lot about the brand and says a lot about the company standards. I love that. I think that's amazing, and that should honestly be the baseline for all foundations. But so it does say it's going to give you a full coverage matte finish. I definitely think that it's a little bit more medium when it applies, I think, but I always go in just with one layer. So maybe if you add another or a little bit more foundation to your application, you would get more full coverage. I definitely do think that this foundation is it is built to be applied with a brush. The application went so much better with a brush, especially the NYX brush, than it did with the Beauty Blender last weekend. My face was so patchy last weekend, and this week, although I had that one spot here, like 2 spots, other than that, it did go on very nicely and gave a nice coverage. It really does cover up blemishes very nicely, which is, you know, prime, especially because the concealer I don't feel does that good of a job on blemishes, but does an incredible job like underneath the eyes. Another thing that the foundation does say is that it's gonna last 24 hours. I will wear the foundation all day long. It is, what time is it? 10 o'clock? It's 10:41 right now. I applied it probably 20 minutes ago. So I will wear it for the entire day, take it off at about 10 p.m. 12 hours, guys. 12 hours of wear time, and I will let you guys know in the description box how it wears. Honestly, the first time I wore it, I didn't even, like the second I got home, I took it off because I was so upset. So I will definitely wear it to, you know, the fullest capacity that I can. It does say that it will last 24 hours. When foundations say that, I just don't get it. I don't know why anybody would want their makeup on for 24 hours. That just doesn't sit well with me. Even 12 hours is really pushing it. To sum up my thoughts, I do really like the foundation. It looks incredible once you're done your makeup. I'm very much so happy with the way that my skin's looking. It looks great, but you know, mind you, it does not work with a beauty blender. So if you're somebody who has dry skin, I would not recommend this foundation to you at all. If you're more combo, just be very cautious when you're applying like I was. And then if you have luminous, kind of glowy, dewy skin, this is definitely a good foundation for you because it is full coverage, matte, and it's gonna not budge on you all day long, which is really nice. I do recommend this foundation. I do actually really like it. I'm gonna keep wearing it, see how it goes. Now that I know that it applies way better with a brush than it does with a beauty blender, I'm gonna keep trying it out. I'll keep you guys posted how I like it though. You guys know I always talk about products that I end up really liking in my review, like my monthly review videos, so check back for that at the end of the month. Anyways guys, that wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Definitely let me know down below if you've tried this foundation or the concealer, or if you plan on trying it. Anyways guys, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and of course I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.